What made the weird kid at your school weird? He shit himself regularly, deliberately. Man. What a power move. I respect that. End any argument with this one neat trick. When I was in high school there was this kid. Let's call him Andy. Who was definitely on the wrong side of the IQ bell curve. Actually. Maybe not. He wasn't an imbecile. But he had no common sense. He'd act first and think later all the time. There are two particularly good stories I have regarding him. But here's the best one. We were in the band hall right before we had to set up for a football game. We were both in marching band and had our little group we hung out with and shot the shit with. He was known for being pretty gross. He was known for crop dusting people with some absolutely vile SBD paint peelers and clearing entire areas of the band hall with no trouble. He'd also do whatever you dared him to do. One time, after our group's tradition of eating some hot and spicy burritos at this awesome Mexican place right before the football game, he did the unthinkable. When we got back to the band hall, I dared him to shit his pants in the middle of the band hall. Without hesitation, he squats down and his face turned red. You could see his forehead and jugular veins bulging. All of a sudden, he went white as a ghost. He started off toward the bathroom, leaving a trail of kibbles and bit-sized poo on the way. Of course, being the 15 to 17-year-olds that we were, we all died laughing. Laughed so hard our abs hurt after. So, being that I was the one who dared him, I went to the bathroom and made sure he was okay. I was still laughing and he was still in shock. But he was doing okay and just going to have to freeball later. I asked him if he needed anything and he said, nah. I started to walk back to my cackling friends and before I could walk out of the bathroom I hear, actually. Hang on. I do need something, I need about $3.50. Well, it was about this time that I realized that Andy was no friend of mine but a 200-story tall crustacean from the Mesozoic era. Damn it Nessie, I ain't giving you no $3.50, I proclaimed as he fled the bathroom and scurried off into the distance. I was obviously shocked at the whole affair and my friends could hardly believe it after I told them what I'd seen. We all just kind of kept quiet about it the rest of the night through the football game and no one ever spoke of Andy again. That's often a sign of abuse and/or trauma. Or he doesn't want to get drafted. He walked around like Master Chief. Even teabagged the ground randomly. All while holding an invisible assault rifle. I read that as Master Chef at first and pictured Gordon Ramsay walking around teabagging the ground. Walks around inspecting other kids' lunches and then shouting abuse when they aren't up to snuff. This Bologna is fucking raw. Did he walk like he was holding the assault rifle? Yes. All he needed was a costume and he would have been out bring kids all day long. He always carried around a briefcase. But never opened it. Sat on the briefcase during lunch, classes, etc. It was like the nuclear football. Always in his hand or he was sitting on it. He carried it onto the stage during graduation. Got his diploma. Right as he was leaving the stage. He opened it up, and dumped a bunch of confetti on the principal. I guess it was the long con. No one questioned why he was carrying it on stage. Okay. If that was the real reason he brought it, that kid is epic. This man living in 3019. Definitely the long con. He truly thought he was a dirt bike. He would run through the halls jumping off of lockers and make the shifting gears noises with his mouth. Absolute mad lad. Legit boss mentality. 100% alpha material right here. Lol, this was me and a couple friends in elementary. Ran around making car noises for a few weeks. Odd but funny in elementary school. Really odd and slightly worrisome in middle school. Super fucking odd but hilarious in high school. You'll have to ask his prison buddies what they think of it now. He was on a hair trigger. Would snap and threaten people. Suspended multiple times. 2 memorable incidents were when we freaked out at an art teacher. Went to his locker and came back with a bullwhip. He made that thing snap and sent everyone running. She barricaded herself in the supply room. Another time someone made the mistake of teasing him about something and everyone laughed. And he pulled a knife and screamed, "Who wants to the first to die?" He was expelled and I'm not sure what became of him. Imagine sitting in class thinking the weird kid is gonna retrieve his gun but instead brings a fucking bull whip. You went to school with Indiana Jones. The art teacher complimented his painting by saying, "Nice work. We should display your painting in the library," and that's when he snapped and screamed, "It belongs in a museum." He would have full conversations, arguments, and sometimes physical altercations with a brick column in the middle of the cafeteria. Who usually won? I don't think anyone won those. They usually made up though, as they would chat like normal the next day. There was a kid at my high school who never talked. It wasn't that he couldn't speak, or that he only spoke to his close friends. He just wouldn't speak to anyone. Teachers didn't call on him because they knew he didn't talk. When a substitute would come in and try to call on him, there was always some kid who would have to explain, "Ricky doesn't talk." If you asked him a question, he would just look at you. It was weird, and some people would take offense to his silence. But eventually everyone realized that was just his thing and rolled with it. The only time he spoke was when we had to present individually in class. On those days people would get really excited if they had a class with him because hearing him talk was like seeing a unicorn. But eventually everyone realized that was just his thing and rolled with it. God, I wish that were me. We had a guy like this. Didn't talk to anyone. Starting in elementary school. All the way through high school. A year or so after high school graduation, I was visiting some other friends. And it turns out he hangs out with them. He was now super talkative. Totally nice, friendly guy. It was kind of bizarre. Almost uncomfortable at first, having a conversation with him after all these years. It was half like talking to a stranger. But at the same time, someone I'd known for a long time. I had always figured he had a speech impediment or something that he was shy about. Nope. Just didn't talk for 10+ years. In his head. Great, stuck with these fucking weirdos for 12 years. Just don't make eye contact and don't say anything. Weird. I didn't have any weird kids in school. Oh no. Yeah. As soon as I saw the question, I was disappointed I couldn't out the weird kid at my school. I was the weird kid at my school. Just talk about yourself in third person and make names up. He wrote his crush's name on the wall in the bathroom. With his own shit. They caught him brown-handed. Also would freak out if someone said werewolf. Caught him brown-handed, beautiful. People who smear poop are often found to have been sexually assaulted as kids. Had no idea. Feel bad for him now. He was always running around in the shape of a 8. If you just said hello to him, he started screeching and attacked you with his lunchbox. And once he ate a Kit Kat with the plastic. Heck, that makes the weird kid in my class look normal. He once ran into a random man at train station. The man wanted to help him get up and he deadass put his school bag off. Took his lunchbox out and smashed it into the man's face like WTF. He wasn't running in the shape of an 8, he was trying to run to infinity and beyond. He ran in the shape of an 8. LMAO. She was afraid of cows, and if you said moo or mentioned cows, she'd freak out and attack you. I'll give it to her though, she'd even try to attack guys 3 times her size that were athletes. Sounds like she was milking it. Don't say that around her though. Greater than I'll give it to her, though she'd even try to attack guys 3 times her size that were athletes. Was she successful? Everyone knew about her and knew if she started you could just leave the class and the teacher would get her to calm down, so most of them would just hold her at arm's length till they got out of the room. In 8th grade, this girl used to finger herself in class. She wasn't good at hiding it, hands under a hoodie in her lap, and we all noticed the room would start to smell bad. Kid in my class would jerk off. You would hear him grunt and then wipe his hands on his desk. There was a confession post I read a while back about how someone jerked off in class to this chick in front of him, then wiped it all over the desk underneath. Claims he did it discreetly and no one knew. Bullshit. They knew. They prob just didn't wanna fucking say anything. Maybe he was your classmate. What the fuck is wrong with some people? A kid jacked off in my 10th grade biology class when we were learning about the female reproductive system, and we all got called into the counselor's office just in case we were traumatized from it. Smells like a turtle tank in here. Had a dude in our pre-calc class finger his girlfriend during class. No one noticed until the girl started sweating and couldn't hold in her moans. I don't know if they ever got in trouble, but I do know that the dude earned the nickname Goldfinger up until graduation. There is a kid at my school and he can't put his laptop down. Eating lunch. On his laptop. As soon as he finishes a test. On his laptop. And we were all wondering what he could put his laptop down for. So one kid asked him. He was designing Minecraft skins and watching Minecraft videos. What a legend. A future CEO. Were they at least good skins? With all the time he was on it, they better be. Honestly, I support him.